Hi, class. We're going to do this. We're going to talk about some books that we've got in the library, and this will be part of your library skills training. Just because we don't usually have time when you're in school to go over, where all the books are and stuff. So, the side where there's just all numbers on the books, those are the nonfiction books. So this is career month, and I'm going to talk to you about a few things, a couple of books, some careers. And here's one of them that we have. It's called Careers in Aviation and Aerospace, and it's by Stuart A. Callan, as you can see, because I'm showing it to you. And these are found in the nonfiction in the 629. Wait, are they all in the 629? No, they are in the 629 because that's where all the trucks and the big rigs and the cars, the motorcycles, the fire engines, the big trucks, tractors. That's where all those kind of books are in 629. So this particular one is because we're talking about aviation and aerospace. And so because at some point you have to figure out what you're going to do with your life and what do you want to do? What are you interested in? This particular book talks about, well, the introduction talks about shooting for the stars, and that just means that, well, let's see what it means. How about that? Shooting for the stars, 1980, when tech entrepreneur Elon Musk was 9 years old, he was so fascinated with outer space that his father encouraged him to build his own rockets. He later joked that he somehow managed to keep all of his fingers while shooting a variety of hazardous homemade missiles into the sky. In addition to his fingers, Musk kept his love of rockets and outer space intact. And even as Musk's financial service company, PayPal, made him an internet billionaire, he studied textbooks with names like Rocket Propulsion, Elements, and International Reference Guide to Space Launch Systems in his spare time. So basically what they're telling you is if you have a desire to be something, even when you're a kid, and it just sticks with you, if you try hard enough, you'll figure out a way to get involved in that. So, let's see, what did it say? In 1980 when he was like 9 years old. And so in 2002, he's a lot older, he's 22, and he founded the space transportation company SpaceX. And within a few years, the company set some notable precedents. It became the first privately owned company to launch a rocket into space. And in 2015, the company became the first entity to successfully land an intact rocket back on the Earth after a space mission. So I'm sure that there's many of you who may be interested in this kind of thing. So I'm not going to go over it too much because I've got like 3 books. But let's see, in the glossary, or not the glossary, the contents, it talks, and it'll go into, which I'll show you in a minute, it'll talk about what kind of education you need to have to start at these kind of jobs. Aerospace engineer, engineering and operations technician, aircraft and avionics, equipment mechanic, commercial pilot, air traffic controller, meteorologist. Did I say that right? Meteorologist, yes. Planetary scientist, astronaut. And then it has an interview with an aerospace engineer. And it's got lots of other things, but because we cannot go through the whole thing. Oh, here's what's really valuable about this is this tells you what kind of a job, what kind of education you need. And in 2015, so they haven't done this book again yet. I'm going to look for more though. That was kind of the middle of the road pay. So if you were an airline pilot, you would need to get your commercial pilot license, your instrument training, multi-engine rating, and you'd start out possibly at just kind of middle of the road, $102,000 a year. If you wanted to be an air traffic controller, which is the guy that sits in the towers and makes sure that all those planes coming into the airport don't smash into each other, you only need to have an associate's degree. What that is you graduate from here, you go to high school, and then you spend 2 years in college. And you start out at like $122,000 a year. Drafter, flight attendant, high school diploma, they start out at $44,000, and it's probably a little bit higher since it's, this was years ago. So there's that. Let's skip over to, here's one of the things that I thought was really interesting, because we kind of think that engineers are going to be pretty much for boys, but they have got all these places, and each book has this, a whole list of where you can find out more information. American Physical Society, Engineers Without Borders. And look, there's a Society of Women Engineers. Now, if any of you girls are listening to this and you have any kind of interest in that at all, it's really good to get a head start, and a situation like this or an organization like this could really help you out, because women don't usually do these kinds of jobs. So there's a lot of help from people who have, that want to encourage women to go, the extra mile and get a real technical degree like this. So you can find this book in the library. One other thing before we go. There's also Women in Aviation. So that's good. And there's plenty of things for everybody to write to, and tell them what you want to do, and then they can get you kind of on track with that. One other thing in this book that I wanted to show you. There's an International Society of Women Airline Pilots too. So there's Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association. So there's lots of information in these books, and it's never too early to start thinking about, what you want to do with the rest of your life. The next book I've got is Careers in Computer Science, and I'm not going to go through the whole book like I said before. I'm going to show you the contents, and then I'm going to go to the next book. So this is work on computers, software developers. For those of you who have such a great time playing video games, a software developer put that together. They wrote the program and they created that. So it may be something you'd like to go into. There's a systems analyst, there's network systems administrators, web developer, which means that's somebody who creates the whole website that you're looking at when you go on to, YouTube or Google or anything. Somebody had to design that. And then somebody also has to make sure that those are secure, so any information you put in the computer does not get hacked and and take all your information. So here, real quick, Computer and Information Systems Manager, a bachelor's degree. Bachelor's degree is 4 years of school after high school, and it goes by fast. Computer Support Specialist only requires an associate's degree, and they start out at right around $50,000. If you get the education, you're going to get paid better. Okay, let's see what else was here that I bookmarked. Just a software developer. Bachelor's degree, you really have to have a strong analytical mind, computer communication skills. And you can come in here and you can check this out, and you can find out what it would take. And what was the last thing? A computer support specialist. When the computer breaks down and I have to call somebody at IT, Information Systems, and get them to fix stuff, that's what these guys are. They are support specialists, and they can usually tell me over the phone what's wrong with my computer. Or they have an ability to kind of access my computer and move things around and fix it, not even being here in my class. So that's pretty good. If you like computers, that may be something you want to go into. And the last book for right now is Careers in Environmental Conservation. And I don't know if you know what that is, but let me see if they've got a really good explanation. I mean, I know what it is, but I want you to understand. What is environmental conservation? Now remember, even though you're young, This whole earth is going to belong to you at some point, and you're going to be an adult, and you're going to have to kind of help decide how are we going to take care of the earth. So this, it says, environmental conservation is a broad field that encompasses any profession that helps make life on earth sustainable. Sustainability is an important concern because humans are using up the planet's resources at an alarming rate. The outcome of centuries of industrialization and development are more keenly being noticed and felt. Fossil fuels are being depleted, the world's forests are being cut down, and pollution is contaminating the air and the oceans. And so when you go into almost any field, it's going to be helping the earth. Here's occupations: animal care and service worker, atmospheric scientist, including meteorologist, environmental engineering technician, environmental science and protection technician, scientist and specialist, forest and conservation worker, hazardous material removal worker, hydrologist, solar, I can't even pronounce, photovoltaic installer. I'm not sure what that means. Urban and regional planner. Now, an urban planner, they decide, where the city's, how large the city's going to grow and what they need to have in place before that can happen. Veterinarian, wastewater treatment plant, and a zoologist and wildlife biologist. And these are all very interesting. So if you want to look into a career like that, this is in the 333 section with the environmental things like weather. Okay, so that's it for today, and I'm going to come back with some more books for this week too. Thank you. Bye.